It's time to get your gear on. New gear on Guitar Radio Show. GuitarRadioshow.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to Guitar Radio Show. It happened again, the Dallas Guitar Festival 2024. It's a wrap. My good buddy and compatriot, brother from another mother, Rob Wingler, could not join us this year. Otherwise, it would have been butter knives involved. But you have to go back and listen to the Wives episode to understand that. And if you do, then you'll in on the joke. But he could not make it. But virtually, he was with me as we did a lot of FaceTiming. And I was sending him a lot of pictures. And we talked gear, as we often do.
I was like Max Headroom while you were walking around there. You know, I was like, that looks great.
You did. You were like Max Headroom. That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. So this was interesting. You know, last year this event was pretty well attended. I spoke to a lot of vendors who were, disappointed. They were just disappointed. They were like, well, where is everybody? How come everybody's not here? And where, And honestly, the only thing I could think of, and I think really I think it's logical, is the fact that this particular event is different in the sense that it's not just a guitar show. Yes, obviously that's the main crux of it, what's going on there, but this is also like multiple concerts taking place. It truly is a festival, as Anthrax would say. It's a festival. But this year there were great players there. I mean, stupendous players there. But they weren't big name players. So I think the draw for other folks coming and looking and potentially making an impulse buy, that didn't happen because there wasn't the star factor. I'm putting up air quotes. There wasn't that. So I think that was part of it. But everybody that I spoke to, as far as vendors, they were like, what's going on? They were kind of wringing their hands a little bit. And but, I saw a lot of vendors who own stores that today on Instagram, they were posting, oodles and oodles of cases, pictures of cases and videos of cases that they brought back of stuff that they purchased while they were there for their stores.
So it's probably a lot of trading amongst dealers.
I think there was a lot of dealing going on between dealers, absolutely. There were, the Japanese contingency was there, and they were purchasing a lot. And the German contingency was there, and I saw one pallet, and they were getting ready to load another pallet with guitars and amps, and they were being wrapped, and they slapped it on there, and where it was going, one of the pallets was going to Hamburg.
Nice.
Yeah. So who knows? I didn't even know what was on there because it was all black plastic, so you couldn't tell what was on there. But it was cases that were standing up. So there were a ton of guitars that were leaving the country and on their way to customs.
I wonder if they were like the super vintage ones, because the Japanese, they like to buy the super vintage ones. Yeah. I guess Germany has a pretty strong market too.
They do.
So.
They have a strong vintage market. without a doubt. Yeah. Frankfurt, Berlin, Hamburg, Cologne. Yeah. So yeah, it was, and there was some stuff there. There were some dealers there that I've never seen before in the 12 years that I've been going to the show. There was one dealer, and I'm sorry that I can't remember their name, but you know how often enough a vintage dealer will, or any guitar dealer for that matter, will have their kiosk set up and they have their stuff, but they didn't tune anything, they didn't clean anything. Everything is kind of dusty and dirty and grimy. Well, there was this one guy that was there, and I think I sent you the pictures of all his tube screamers and all of his fuzz faces in the cases, in the glass case and that plexiglass case. Well, this particular dealer had some of the most beautiful, sought after guitars, both Gibson, Fender, Rickenbacker, I mean, you name it, he had it. And every single one was in tune. And I mean, honestly, you picked it up and it was in tune. Every single one was clean, like everything had been polished before it went out onto the floor. And I was super impressed by that. And the way they
to sell them,
Well, and the way they organized everything. Yeah, he's the one who had that 59 Les Paul Jr. for $10,500.
Right.
And it was, I mean, it was checked like crazy. I mean, the checking on it was, it was like a cracked mirror. But the guitar was immaculate. It was completely worth the $10,500 in my opinion.
That's why I couldn't go, because between that and I saw Jimmy Wallace, he had up a 56 conversion, a 56, 59 conversion. So it was a real 56 that had been done over in 59 specs for 17.
Yeah.
And I saw that, I'm like,
17.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was asking 17 in the picture, and I'm like, some butter knives have been tossed at me for that one.
Yeah, for sure. So, the vintage stuff that was there was really good. There was a lot of late 50s Gibsons, some late 50s Fenders, but not many. Mostly early 60s, very few mid 60s, late 60s, early 70s Fenders. And the thing that I was most astonished by was the fact that, 74 Fender Strat was going for $7,000.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, oh no, this is where we've gotten. This is where we go. So what's next? I mean, I saw the silver anniversary 79, which I've had one, but the 79, that silver anniversary that turns gold. And it oxidizes and it says anniversary on it. They had one there for $5,000.
$5,000?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder how much of this is, though, the just like
show price.
We're at a guitar show. Let's inflate the price.
Yeah, it could be.
I wonder how much, like, if you went up and was like, he was asking $5,000. If you were like, listen, I'm feeling like $3,000. If you'd have been like, yeah, I just want to move it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wonder how much of that is like fishing. You know what I mean? Like, let me put it up for this and see what happens. Kind of like if you go on Reverb and you put on a $100 third man pedal for $1,000 because you're fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, that's true. I mean, there were there were juniors there. I saw a lot of juniors too. A lot of Les Paul juniors, a lot of SG juniors, and they were 60, 61, like that. Mm-hmm. And they were $5,000, $7,000.
See, I'd rather have that than a 79 Strat for $5,000 or a 74
absolutely.
Strat for $5,000.
Absolutely. There was one guy, it was a 63 body, 61 body, 63 neck. and he wanted 10,000.
I don't know. That's a parts caster at that point. I
Well,
get that
yeah,
it was all original and
yeah.
then a refin. That's
Right.
different. But to me, that's just I slapped these parts together. I don't think that's $10,000 worth of parts to me.
But, you know, it's happening.
I wonder though. I mean, it's happening, but are any of them selling?
I don't know. I mean, you know, our friend Darren, he got himself that Fullerton 1983 Fullerton vintage reissue from Fender of 61 Strat. And it was accidental. They were originally going to ask 33 for it. And they had it on Reverb for 42, which I found odd. But he accidentally quoted me when I saw it at 3,000.
Right.
So that's where everybody started to have some wiggle room, and then Darren ended up getting it. So yeah, I don't know. It was odd. There was some really bizarre stuff, but I mean, from an eye candy standpoint, it was pretty insane. Oh God, what was I going to say? I came across 2 Dan Armstrongs, a bass and a guitar. And the bass was flawless. It looked like it just came out of the box. And he wanted $400 for it. The guitar he wanted $1,650.
Wait.
And I'm getting there. I'm just hold on. Come on the ride for this.
Okay.
So I'm going.
I'm about to go, Mark. Why? I was going to sell you that money. What the fuck?
So I look at the guy and I go, "Are you working in this booth?" He goes, "Yeah, but the guitars aren't mine. I'm just helping my friend out." I go, "That bass is a knockoff." He goes, "I don't know." And he calls the other guy over and I go, "Hey, that bass, that Armstrong bass." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "It's a knockoff, right? It's a Chipson?" He goes, "Yeah, it is."
Gotcha.
I was like, "Okay. But the guitar is real." He goes, "Yeah." And $1,650 was a really good price.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is the Japanese reissue from 20-something years ago.
It was 69.
Oh, it was really for $1,600?
$1,650. I was like, wow, that's the price.
What's the matter with it?
Well, it was beat up.
It's plexiglass. How beat up can it be?
Oh no, it had divots out of it.
Really?
And it was filthy.
Wow.
And it was filthy and really scratched up. Like to the point it was so scratched up it looked like it was frosted. Like frosted glass, like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Chipson bass version,
right?
Which is actually really nice.
I believe it. I mean, you can't fuck up plexiglass.
No, pretty much you can't.
Lucite, I should say, not plexiglass, but lucite. So you can't really screw that up. So, but all the usual suspects were there as far as the kind of gear you would expect to find. Vintage Vox, vintage Fender, vintage,
right.
A lot of tube screamers. Well, if you go to guitarradioshow.com or if you go to the Facebook page or the Instagram page, I'm posting all sorts of pictures as we go. Throughout, I have enough pictures, honestly, to be posting for the next 3 weeks. So there'll be all that. So yeah, there was all that and a lot of refins. A shit ton of refins was going on.
There seems to be a lot of refins everywhere, though.
It seems to be that's where things are leading us.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't mind a refin on something super vintage.
Yeah. Well, the cork sniffers are really having a problem with that. They won't go near. Cork
sniffers don't play them. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't. You're right about that. That's true. And then there was that really interesting piece that I never even knew existed, which was the Eric Johnson PRS prototype.
That was super interesting. When you sent it to me, I was like, I had no idea they ever made that, and it was something else.
It's a quirky looking, weird looking instrument. It looks kind of like a left-handed Strat that's played right-handed, but all the controls are in the right place, and it's got an F hole, and a very strange PRS type headstock, 3 on a side. So once again, folks, you go to guitarradioshow.com. I'll have a picture of that up. You can take a look.
I've seen them use that headstock for Danny Spitz. His PRS has a 3-in-line like that.
Oh, really? With that snub nose top like that?
Yeah, because he wanted it to be similar to the Jacksons he used to play.
Okay, that's interesting. So that was a really quirky looking thing.
I wonder how it sounded. I would have loved to have
I would have loved to have heard it too, but they didn't have an amp in that booth, and they weren't letting anybody touch these guitars.
You think it sounded good?
Do I think it sounded good?
I mean, all Paul Reed Smith sounds good, but you know what I mean. You think it sounded good, comparatively, the Silver Sky sounds good. You think if you picked that up, you'd be like, wow, I can't believe they put this into production. They didn't put this into production. Or would you have been like, no, I could see what they did here?
I think it probably sounded like a Strat.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it probably... I don't know. The sound that I imagined hearing out of it was less Strat-like, Strat-y, but a little more plunky sounding. It looked like it was going to be a plunky guitar.
Like a Telly sound kind of a thing?
Maybe like a Telly meets like a 335.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would have really been interesting to hear it. And you know that next time I talk to Paul, that's going to come up in conversation.
Yeah, and he's going to say, oh, I got real drunk one night. I went down to the factory, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to build this for Eric.
Yeah.
And then,
I have a feeling...
Say, I presented it to Eric, and he was like, I just can't accept such a gracious gift, Paul. You take it back with you. You keep it now.
Well, this guy who was exhibiting these, he had a ton of Eric Johnson prototypes. So he had the first custom shop prototype. Then he had the first thin line one with the F hole. So he had about, I don't know. He probably had about 6 or 7, maybe 8, all guitars that were owned by Eric Johnson at one point.
I bet you he just got them from Eric himself.
He could have, and maybe as Eric was letting him display them. But the prototype was not for sale, right? Yeah, it wasn't for sale.
Right, it said not for sale.
And neither was the EJ Virginia prototype. And then he was selling his 1955 Strat that he used on the G3 tour. And there was a note that you'd get with a handwritten note from him on that, and it was $45,000. Yeah, but
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, considering the pedigree and everything, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Is that really a terrible asking price? Maybe the note said, "Thanks for buying this."
No, it was a long note. It was like 2 pages, the note. So
so it was, maybe I did all these gigs with it, and I'm going to take you out for a steak dinner because you just spent $45,000.
Let's get some barbecue,
Eric.
Let's get some barbecue.
I know a good place
in Austin.
Road from the from the convention here. If you buy it today, I'll take you to the place.
Goodness. So, along with all the vintage guys, there was, we'll call them used guys, right? Used sellers. So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of interesting, weird stuff like that Charvel that I sent you.
I like that Charvel.
That was kind of different,
neat.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the headstock was something else.
Yeah. And some of those were highly priced. Like, I was kind of surprised. But along with all that was also some upstarts, accessory companies, part companies. There was pedalboard companies. There was this one company called AMI Guitar Upgrades, and they make loaded pick guards. But they make a loaded pick guard that's plug-in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you set it up, sort of like, remember when Seymour did that? Seymour Duncan did a plug-in thing for a little bit.
Right.
And it was so you could turn pickups in and out quickly.
What pickups were they using in their loaded pickup? Was it proprietary, or
They're their pickups.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten a chance to hear them yet, but I'm going to be doing a deep dive on them and check that out, and they might be a future guest on the show.
Oh, very cool.
Then there was you mentioned to me a day before, I think, that a Facebook friend of ours, Dave Pastorius, great bass player, plays with Pat Travers and a slew of other people, as well as session work and lessons, was doing a thing with a company called Valkenburg out of Las Vegas. And he told me to go check out the booth, and I finally found them. They were kind of way in the back on an end cap. And I went and checked it out and checked out the bass, and I got to play the bass before David did, which was kind of nice. And it's a cool bass, very heavy. It's got a Kahler in it, which I really got a kick out of because I love Kahlers. And so that was neat. And then I saw the rest of their guitars that they had there, and I was really impressed with what I was seeing. So I spoke to Daniel, who is the founder and CEO and the master luthier for the company. So I'm going to have them on the show at some point in time. And then that guy that you and I were looking at back in January at the NAMM show.
Sully Guitars.
Sully Guitars. John Sullivan was there. And you can't get no more Californian than John Sullivan. He is so Cali. So
he was a character.
We chatted briefly and got his information. We're going to have him on the show at some point. And then there were two pedal builders, and both of them were from Texas. And they both have really, me being a fuzz nut.
Whoa. Lord of Fuzz.
Lord of Fuzz. That's what Rob calls me, the Lord of Fuzz. Because I buy way too many fuzz pedals.
You have to have the proper introduction. Hear ye. All rise for the Lord of Fuzz, the Earl of Vibe, Mr. Mark David.
And you're the Duke of Wah. You're the Duke of Wah.
Duke of Wah.
Yeah. I like that. So yeah, one of them was called Tex-Mex Effects, and they're in Fort Worth. And I spoke to Jason Munoz. And he ran me through his overdrive pedal and his, which is called, what was it called again? It was super cool. Oh God, not double stack, but it was really cool. I really liked it a lot, and I really liked the fuzz. His fuzz was really versatile. It had a lot going on. You could do all sorts. You could get spitty. You can get it big and bold and full. Pick out every note in the chord. I really like that. That was super cool. So I'm going to have him on the show. Definitely want to chat with him, and I may purchase his fuzz. And then
I'm going to put my money on you will purchase it.
And then I spoke to another gentleman, and I don't have his name here, but the name of the company is PhD Pedals, and they are in Waco. And he had a fuzz that he refuses to do anything wet. He won't do any wet effects. He does overdrives. He does fuzzes. He does, and he's got a bunch in the line. And but he refuses to do wet. He says that
no modulation.
He doesn't want any hassle with that because of FCC rules and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So, I get it. But his fuzz, it was called something God, Eye of God, I think it was called, or something like that. But oh no, that's a Devi Ever pedal. But anyway, he
Is it God of Fuzz?
His fuzz, God of Fuzz. It was God of something, not Thunder. But yeah, he's going to be on the show, and I'm going to have sound clips and all that stuff. But his fuzz had a variable switch in there, so it had 5 settings. So the fuzz would go from darker to brighter, but not like a tone. It changed the entire character of the wave. It was freaking cool. And it sounded wildly different in a Fender amp than it did in a Vox. We tried it in both amps.
Wow. Is there? I wonder if he's got any videos of it on the internet to check out.
I asked him. I don't think he had. He said that he's a builder, not a player.
Oh, then he should let you demo one.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah. So.
I mean, you are the Lord of Fuzz. It would make only sense to send you the fuzz and have you.
Fuzz.
Well, you make fuzz sound really good. I make fuzz sound really, really bad. Well, particularly bad when I play through fuzz.
I don't agree. I thought the other night you played the new your Wong. I love when you just call it my Wong.
Yeah, I played with my Wong.
He played with his Wong. He has a brand new Fender Corey Wong Strat, which, folks, I got to tell you, man, I want one of them. That has a characteristic all its own, that guitar.
I wasn't sure when I ordered it what to expect, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Man.
And the freaking pickups sound great in that.
They are great. And the guitar itself also is what?
Yes.
How many percent smaller all the way around?
I think he said it's 5% smaller.
Now, if we had Paul with us right now, he would say it's not just the pickups, it's also that.
I'm sure, if you're taking away that little bit of mass.
Yeah.
So, but the Corey Wongs, they did a great job on, I love that Strat. And I'm not a huge Strat guy to begin with.
No.
And I'm in love with that.
Yeah.
I forget what fuzz I was playing. Was it a fuzz face? What did I send you a video of?
You were playing a fuzz face, yes.
Yeah.
Silicon or germanium? I like to say geranium.
That night I played through both. I don't remember which one I sent you. Probably silicon one.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it was the red one. It was the red one.
Okay, so it was the germanium.
Yeah, that was the older red one.
Or geranium, if you like flowers. So yeah, I mean, no, I'm hoping I can find those pickups, sans because they're not making a left-handed Corey Wong.
But there are Duncan pickups that are in it. They're his signature Duncan pickups.
Oh, so I can just go and get them.
You could just buy the Corey Wong Duncan pickups.
Well, then I'm gonna have some Wong in my life.
Everybody needs a little Wong.
Oh my God! So yeah,
and, some people are into fuzzy Wong. Some people are into overdriven Wong.
Yeah, I like my Wong shaved.
Heavy reverb is a wet Wong.
That's a wet Wong, right? Yeah, a lot of delay.
Yeah,
it's a spitting Wong.
But anyway, you make fuzzes sound good. Spitting Wong. We're gonna get X-rated mark here.
So, but yeah, lots of cool guitars. There was this one that I saw, and I mentioned it to you the other day, and I had never seen it before. It was a 80s Ovation VXT electric guitar, and it's a single cut. But it's got that vintage Ovation 3 on its side headstock with the, that little barb at the top.
Right.
But man, what a cool ass guitar. I never saw one before this weekend. And it was really making me wish I was, and it was a set neck, and it was making me wish I was right-handed. Had I been right-handed, I would have purchased that guitar.
And it wasn't crazy priced either, right?
$695.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Show price. That was a show price.
Yeah.
It was so funny. There was a lot of those signs up. Show price. You know, like, and it was like, wait a minute, I could get this on Reverb for $200 cheaper.
Right. Show price.
Show
$300 more than it should.
Right, show price. Let me screw you over. Show price.
I got to pay for this table. Show price.
Oh god. Are you using your phone to talk to me?
I am. Is it not good?
No, that's fine. Because I wanted to send you a picture of this 1954 Telecaster, and it's
Okay.
it's this makes the Bloomfield Telecaster that got cut up, the one that killed folk at the Newport Folk Festival. This
Holy crap.
Yeah, this is horrible. So I'll put a picture of this up, and I entitled this picture, "Oh, the Humanity."
Is it beveled?
So somebody, not only did they make it a double cut telly, but they also beveled it. I guess they were shooting for a Strat vibe. There's even a belly cut in it.
How much were they asking for this thing?
He was selling the neck, which the neck is fine. He was selling the neck for it's a 54, so he was selling the neck for like $4,000.
What do you want for the body?
He didn't even say.
Because he knew nobody would like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of, it's shocking, but I kind of want to play it.
And the pickups had already been sold out of it, so it's getting parted out essentially.
I would love to see what they asked for, because this is like very home, like. You're right. It looks like somebody like bought this in the 50s, and then the Strat came out, and they were like, "Oh man, I can't afford a Strat." And they're like, "I'll just hack this up."
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah. Well, that's like that. Oh God, what's that story about the guitar that John Sebastian had, a Les Paul that John Sebastian had, and then he traded it with Rick Derringer? Jimmy Vivino tells this story, and you'll hear this later in a couple of months when the Jimmy Vivino episode, or next month when the Jimmy Vivino episode comes out. So John Sebastian from the Lovin' Spoonfuls had this Strat. It was a gold top.
Right.
And he ended up trading it for something else with Rick Derringer. Rick Derringer, who was in the McCoys at that time, his dad was running his career at that time, because he was 15 or 16,
something like that. Yeah, 16.
And he said that gold is no good. It's too ostentatious, and we need to get a different color on that. And so they sent it back to Kalamazoo,
right,
and had it stripped and painted red, transparent red. And there's a line at the top of the guitar where your elbow rests of another piece of wood that when they put it together, that's why it was a gold top.
Right.
It was a 2-piece or 3-piece body. And then the guitar went off to somebody else, really, really famous. And I can't think of who it was now. It's driving me crazy. Oh man, I feel horrible that I don't remember this.
But it's not like Harrison's Lucy.
That's what it is. It's Harrison's Lucy. So that's where it went off. Right. It went off. And what happened was, so Derringer didn't like it, so he brought it to 48th Street, We Buy and Trade, and sold it to them. A few days after he did that, a young guy from England comes in and buys 6 guitars. One of them is that guitar. He buys a couple of Strats. He buys that Les Paul. He buys an Explorer, and goes back to England with it. That guy was Eric Clapton.
Was one of those? Were those the Strats that he ended up making Blackie out of?
I believe it was. Yeah,
pile.
I believe it
gave George the Les Paul for his wife.
Right, he gave George the Les Paul.
And then he traded him Patty Boyd. That was the trade.
Right.
And
so that's the story. Yes.
Didn't that end up becoming the Cutoff Explorer?
Mm-hmm. That's
cool.
the one. Yeah. So crazy how many hands that guitar went through before it ended up with George Harrison. And then that guitar, when George was still alive, the house got broken into.
Right.
And the guitar was stolen and was gone for a long time, and they finally got it back through Norm's in Tarzana.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a deal with the guy who had the guitar at the time, supposedly said that he wasn't the thief. And then they made a deal, I think, and it was quite a lot of money, and George was pretty pissed off about it. But they talked him into doing it because they didn't want him to get away, leave with the guitar. So George ended up getting the guitar. Now the guitar Danny Harrison has.
Right. I wonder what that would go for at auction. This is a pretty.
I'm going to say
guitar.
it's the guitar that's on Let It Be.
Well, yeah, it's While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
It's the It's the guitar that Clapton played.
Right, and then he gave it to him.
Right.
Didn't that in that Let It Be video doesn't it fall over at one point in that video? And George looks pretty pissed off when that happened.
Yeah, it does fall over. Yeah. So, that honestly, I think that guitar would probably go for $500,000 starting bid in auction.
Yeah, I wonder what it would finish out at. I would have to figure that guitar had to finish out at a couple million.
Yeah, probably $2 million, $2.5 million. Bidding would start at $500,000.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Was the auction house there again this year?
Heritage was there. Heritage was there, and they had these two. I'm going to send this to you. They had these two Van Halen things. They were Kramer error. So they had those. Signed Kramer, Ripley bowling ball pink. The bidding was starting at $7,500 for that one.
Oh yeah, look at that Ripley stereo.
Yeah, and then they had the red, white, and black Elvis solid body. I don't know what that means. Elvis signed it. Is that what happened? Couldn't have been. No, Elvis was dead. Elvis was dead in '78. Yeah, but the starting bid on that was $10,000. So
yeah, those are pretty cool.
Those are cool. Yeah.
I wonder if they would have been apt to. So that one, it's got a rosewood neck, that the Frankenstein painted one, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then there wasn't a whole lot of other name people, but there was some really nice vintage guitars. Once again, more Les Paul Juniors too, which was surprising.
So was the guy there from last year that had the lightweight basses and guitars, was Bluesman Vintage there again this year?
He was there, yes, absolutely. And
I liked his stuff.
Great stuff. So yeah, I saw some performances with Larry Mitchell. I saw some performances with Chris Duarte, and they were fantastic. They did not disappoint. You saw the Hofner basses. There was a lot of those.
I know. It made me want to play my Hofner.
They were really, really nice. A lot of PRS over at the Jimmy Wallace, that football sized kiosk he has, football field sized kiosk that he has. There was a lot of PRS, a lot of Silver Skies. I saw in what do you call it? A nebula? Is that what it was? The finish
the nebula
with
finish.
I almost called it Ebola. The nebula. The
Because it
nebula.
makes your eyes bleed.
Yeah, it is a pretty wild looking finish when you see it up close. It's like, wow, for real? That's kind of amazing. Tons of Firebirds. 60 through, or 61 through 65. I saw a ton of Firebirds.
Well, it's the year of the Firebird.
Is it? It must be.
Sure. That's on my calendar.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Chicago Music was there. Is that what they're called?
They weren't there last year, right?
No, they were not.
CME?
No. Reverb was there too.
Oh, well, they're almost tied together.
Yeah, so when I walked over to their booth, I said, what? So you want me to use the app here in front of you? I said, if I purchase something from you, can you give it to me right now? They were not amused. But yeah, it was the gear was great. Some of the performances were stellar, but it was really, it was poorly attended. And I had to leave early on Sunday morning, so I didn't get to go to Sunday. And our friend Darren told me that at one point, at 11:30 noonish, he looked up and down the aisles, and there was, maybe one person at each booth. That's how many people were in the building at the time.
I guess they knew that, the party from Jersey wasn't coming this year, and they were like,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
Let's just go home.
Yeah, they were like, that guy that you bought the Steinberger from last year, he was like, where's your friend? My kids are going to go hungry.
Was the guy I bought the lap steel from there this year?
He was not.
Oh, they were nice guys.
Yeah, they weren't here. But there was a lot of different people that I'd never seen before, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Once again, it was the Dallas. To me, it was the Dallas Guitar Festival. It was still fun. I had a good time. I came home with something, which was nice. So.
Did you eat at that Mexican place we ate at last year?
We did. We ate at that restaurant.
Food was good there.
It was very good. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good one. The only thing that I think would have made it better if you would have been there. It would have been a much better.
I would have
hang.
Really enjoyed it.
You would have had fun.
So.
But keeping the butter knives out of the whole situation, it's a good thing.
We must keep the butter knives at bay.
When is the Philadelphia Guitar Show?
Definitely November. They do it twice. They do a summer and a fall. So I think there's one in it's either June or early July, and then the other one is in November.
Okay, I would never do the November. I would never come to the East Coast in November. There's no fucking reason for me to do
No,
that.
you gotta come to the November one. That's the one that everybody likes.
No, I don't care. Because
it's
I have the kind of...
East Coast.
But you don't understand. I am a jinx. I will bring a blizzard. I will go and there'll be a blizzard.
First week of November.
Yes, there'll be a freaking blizzard or a tornado or a hurricane. And I do that. It's what I do. Every time I go back to the East Coast, if I don't go in June, there's a problem.
All right, so you're going to have to come to the summer one.
I'll come to the summer one. And I was actually talking to Darren about that earlier today, that we would consider coming to the summer one.
That'd be fun. It's not really it's not in Philadelphia. It's really out on the outskirts. I think it's King of Prussia.
That's fine.
So.
That's fine.
But I mean, it's a decent show.
How is it as big as Dallas?
No, I don't think I've ever been to anything as big as that. Dallas was kind of mesmerizing when I went there first, and how large it was.
It is pretty enormous.
Right?
It really is.
When I got there, I'm like, it was heaven. I was like, holy shit, I could die right here,
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, from a vintage perspective this year, it was really over the top. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. So
It's just a shame that the pricing is silly.
well, I think there's a lot of people trying to get out. Cause
They overbought. You think?
Well, I think the audience is starting to thin out.
Man, yeah, I've seen some prices change. I went to Guitar Center today because that's what I do when I'm near a Guitar Center. When you see a Guitar Center, you stop in the Guitar Center. And I did leave with something, but it's that one. They still had that Soldano.
Oh,
the SLO
wait a
100
minute.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't leave with that. It was dropped down $500 though to $3,500.
Oh boy.
I'm like, it's calling me. I'm like, maybe the Rivera and the the Supro and a couple other things, and I just get that. So, but they had a case, which is weird. They had a brand new Dean ML case, right? And it was clearanced down to $40. And I have that Chips and Cowboys from Hell, the Dean from Hell, guitar. Yeah. So I'm like, crap, that'll fit in that. So I bought it for $40. And the guy's like, we're actually losing money on this. He's like, this case has been lying around here. He goes, Guitar Center pays $100 for these cases, because it was brand new. He's like, from Dean. Right. He's like, we're letting it go for $40. He's like, company's losing $60 on this. And I said, wow, I'm surprised that you're just selling it, because the original price that was on it was $199. Right. And I'm like, so I did leave with a case.
Okay.
Which wasn't so bad.
Okay.
I did pick up that Silver Sky again. I noticed a chip, and then that one that I've been picking up.
Oh, for real? There's a chip in it?
Yeah, and I'm like, there's a chip on the lower horn.
Yeah.
Just like a tiny chip, but it's enough to where I was like,
and that's nitro, right?
Yes.
So, wow. Well, I mean, they could take $100 off of that.
They could, but I don't know, with that taupe color, with that chip in it, I don't know if I like it like that. I mean, it's a little chip. You
can see the primer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't notice that before, so I don't know if that happened since I played it last.
It probably did, yeah.
Because it was pretty pristine, I thought, when I played it
last.
I'll
go back and look at the pictures that you sent me, and I'll zoom in on it and see.
Yeah.
It's on the lower horn?
Lower horn, the top lower horn. All the way almost at the tip.
Okay. I'm going to go look at that. Yeah, I mean, that was a nice looking guitar, boy, I'll tell you. Did you plug it in?
Yeah. No, it sounds great. I didn't plug it into the Soldano. I plugged it into, they had a Hot Rod Deluxe thing sitting there. So I just did, but I mean, it sounds good. Yeah. I'm excited for you to get yours.
I am. I'm really looking forward to it. But, I've got a long way to go yet. Months to go. So.
The waiting is the hardest part. Tom Petty once said that.
He said that, and he was right. The man was right. We need Tom Petty back. But not as a zombie. That wouldn't be good. But I would like to bring Tom Petty back. You ever see those memes, if you could bring one person back and see them in concert one more time, who would it be?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Don't you answer them? I answer them every time.
I say your mom.
That's kind of fucked up.
I always say your mom.
Oh my God. I forgot Mark's in 8th grade.
I was saying to my wife the other night when we were, I don't know where we were. I think we were going to the Vice show. And I said, yeah, I'm terminally adolescent.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, that's why I'm this old and still, and I have friends that are my age and they're like, they can barely move. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You got shit to do. Do it,
Right.
You got to keep moving. It's like sharks. Sharks, if they stop swimming, they die.
Yeah.
So
it's 100%.
Got to keep swimming.
It's exactly that. It's the mindset. Mm-hmm. Age is a mindset.
That's right.
Until you get old enough to where your body actually craps out, it's just a mindset.
Right, and the same thing with the amount of guitars you have. That's just a mindset. Is
that a bit like? So then, what would that mindset be when you have like a really crazy amount?
A good month.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm pretty sure our spouses disagree.
Yeah, but you know what? I really, and this is, I'm sure would be called a flimsy argument, but I believe that it's part of the thing that's keeping me as young as I am. And my friends, they don't have their guitars anymore.
See, you're right.
So, haha.
That's right.
That's
rock and roll.
That's
keeps
my
you,
fucking theory.
Keeps you young. Well, I mean, look at it. You're right. Keith Richards has a guitar, and he's fucking 107.
Exactly.
Jumping around like,
He's
like
spending his children's inheritance.
They don't need it.
No, they don't. But
I mean, even McCartney's what, 81? Is McCartney
81? Yeah, I think so.
And he's still rocking around.
And look at I mean, Mick Jagger is the one that really blows me away because, they put a pedometer on him during a show
right?
And he does. I think a 2-hour show. It equates to 8 miles of a run.
Holy crap! At 80, he's 80 also, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? And then you go to a nursing home or whatever, and look at an 80-year-old guy who's just sitting there like mashed potatoes.
I mean, granted, they're rich, so they get the best of health care. They can take care of themselves. They can spend that time. Don't have to work a menial job.
That's true.
Where they're lifting and toting and and all that stuff. I mean, those guys. The heaviest thing they lift all day is a Telecaster.
Well, some of those could be real heavy.
Some of them could be heavy, yeah.
The late 70s one is not,
Well, we know that Mickabar is not a late 70s Telecaster. That is probably a very light Telecaster.
I bet you it is.
I bet you.
But the Tele Custom that he played, or Deluxe or whatever, is that is 100% a 70s.
Look, you're trying to make it seem like he's working hard. Don't even try. He's not working.
I'm just saying that the drugs fucking last forever.
Yeah.
He's like a Twinkie.
He's been preserved in like formaldehyde. It's just incredible. Yeah. He's amazing. And he still sounds great. He plays great. He sounds great. He still writes. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
It's amazing.
Yep. Well, folks, that was the Dallas Guitar Festival. Like I said, you can go to guitarradioshow.com, see pictures there. There'll be some video there as well. You can go to the YouTube. I haven't been telling people to go to the YouTube channel enough, but you can go to the YouTube, and there's lots of stuff there posted from it, and other stuff too, including our short attention span pedal demos. I think there's been an additional 3 that have been added in the last week or so. So you can see those.
And remember to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe if you don't mind. And on all our social media there is pictures and video from Dallas as well as our daily whatever junk that we post. So
I wish that they would build like a bullet train from Jersey to Texas.
That would be great.
Just get on that and get there because driving there was insane last year.
Well, then then we could rehearse too.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good. How cool would it be, you, me, and Darren in a band, and you and I could swap off a bass and guitar, because we know we're not going to get him to play bass.
He's a closet bass player, so, I think he's coming around after hanging out with us for a bit. And he's like, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Rumbling the low.
Well, now he buys that Antiqua bass, so, that Antiqua P bass. So.
See, there's nothing like a bass. It rumbles your nether regions. It's perfect.
It is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And on that note, we're going to go. We're going to get out of here. And you got anything else you want to say before we go?
No, thanks for having me on again.
Hey, man. Thanks for being here to be my sounding board for these things that you don't attend. Hey, is there a Summer NAMM this year?
I don't think so.
No?
I think they were only doing the one.
That's a shame. I really wish they'd bring that back.
I wish they'd bring NAMM like in the summer, maybe to New York or something.
In the summer?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. It originally was in New York.
Yeah, I thought it was in Chicago.
Years ago. Well, then it was in Chicago.
Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
it slowly
LA's
made its way west.
Yeah, I can't drive to LA. It's too far.
Oh, no.
One day I'm going to drive to LA. I told my wife, so when I retire,
You want to do that drive, huh?
I do, but
Route
it's a sports
66?
car. Yeah, I was going to take, like, I want to get, I'm a Corvette guy, so I'm like, I'm going to get a Corvette when I retire and drive across the country.
A good friend of mine just got a minty mint red 64 convertible.
Oh, that's nice.
Corvette. I was
That's nice.
Whoa. This guy he's first of all the sweetest guy. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't think he ever wants everybody to know they got a brand new Corvette. This thing is super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's flawless. But this guy I've known since he was a little kid. He's younger than me by about, I don't know, a few years, for sure. But I used to play in a band with his brother. And he would sit on the stairs and peek down at the basement and watch us play, and me and the band that we were in. And he got so inspired by what we were doing, as bad as we were, he went ahead and started learning how to play guitar. He had an Ibanez RG, one of the original ones.
Oh, wow.
With the binding, with the white binding on it, the flat top Strat humbuckers, and that really bad whammy bar in there that he later had ratted out and he put a Kahler in. And
Kahler.
He became an outrageously good guitar player. Like, he surpassed us in so many ways, and he ended up recording, and he had a really nice little career there as a musician for a while.
Wow.
And then he quit and started in the post office, and now he's retired from the post office.
Wow.
And I'm still working a job.
I know. If I only had the foresight to get those jobs that do early pensions.
Yeah. He's always been a vet guy. He's had several vets over the years. But today he posted this picture of this vet, and I was just like flabbergasted. It's gorgeous.
See, I don't know that I'd want to do that drive across the country in an old one.
Yeah.
I definitely want a newer one
Yeah.
to go in.
Something comfortable.
Yeah.
Or as comfortable as you can get with a vet.
Right. Well, there is no real comfort.
Not with a vet, no. So. Well, folks, there you go. You got a little car talk, too. Yeah.
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
We do it all. Yeah. It's like when I had Samantha Fish on and I started talking about barbecue with her. And at one point she goes, "What kind of show is this?" I was like, "We talk about everything. Whatever comes up, we talk about." She thought it was very strange. She was a little put off by it.
Oh, well,
What are you going to do?
we're not for everybody.
We're not for everybody. And that's fine. So, anyway, well, thanks, folks, for listening. Rob, as always,
Yes, thank you again.
being the Duke of Wah,
I still laugh. I'm going to cut you off because I still laugh. I think about when your wife said, "How many wah-wah pedals you got?" And I said, 23, 24. And she goes, "Why?" And I'm like, I kind of don't have a good answer other than they're all different. I really don't.
They
have
are.
an answer.
No, I think wahs are as different as strats.
Oh,
To
just the way
me.
she said it, I crack up. I just think about it. She's like,
Well, you know what's funny?
why?
I recently went back to listen to something. Remember the pedal episode that we did?
Yeah.
At that time when we did that, and I don't remember what year, it's got to be about 3 years ago that we
Easily,
did that
yeah.
episode. You only had 7.
Holy crap! Really?
Yes.
I have a wah problem. What's funny is I remember in that episode saying to you that I wanted to get the Petrucci wah.
Yes.
It was going to be my next one, and I never bought it. I bought it like every other one but that one.
Right. I've already picked out your Christmas present for this year, so you already know it's a wah. So I have a whole bunch of them saved in my Reverb. So
Nice.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're gonna get you hooked up.
And I can tell your wife I got 25.
And she'll still say why.
I just love the way she said. She's like, "Why?"
You can't explain that. You know, it's like when I walked in with the new Strat, she was just like, "Another Strat?" You know.
At least she knows it's called a Strat.
Well, you know, the other day when we were going to the Vi show, we were on our way, and she says, oh no, it was after the show. We were coming out, and she goes, I didn't see any PRSs on the stage. I go, no. I says, both those guys play Ibanez. She goes, but there was one that looked a little like a PRS. I said, well, you know, Steve did have a guitar designed. There was a conversation going on
right
with them about a possible Steve Vai PRS.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
With a monkey grip?
With a monkey
right
grip.
In it?
Oh, my God.
Be kind of awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, custom 24 with a monkey grip.
In pink with like the green trapezoid inlays, that with the pyramid inlays, I would love that.
I don't know, man. That's a little weird for me. I
think I would love that.
I don't know. So I decided that after I get the Silver Sky, I'm gonna get the Zach Myers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Look at you, glomming up all the PRSs.
I gotta get.
What else is there? There's a Lord, an Earl. I gotta look up something else. The Prince of PRS over here.
The Prince of PRS. That's good. I like that. I like that. So, but yeah, I thought about it the other day. I was looking at one and I listened to one. I was like, I want a single cut PRS.
Oh, I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That'd be those Zach Myers. The right-handed ones are the great guitars.
Yeah.
So I imagine the lefty is just as good.
Oh, that's the thing about PRS. Even with the SE models, the attention to quality and detail is just
definitely
is staggering.
Definitely.
It's staggeringly good.
They got they're very consistently good.
Yes.
No matter at what price point.
Yes.
They're always good.
Yeah.
I only gripe that it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying the only gripe I ever have is his pickups. I don't know. I could take or leave the pickups.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his pickups.
Oh my God, those 8515s in my custom 24 are amazing. They're so versatile. The only thing with the older SEs is the pots are not tapered well. Whereas the 2408, where is it? It's up there. That has great tapered pots, and those are different pickups, obviously.
Right.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, I liked the old Hot Fat Screams from, I guess because of, I remember discovering them in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Paul Reed Smith. So sure. I'm used to that sound. I like those and the old McCarty pickups. And then the Grissom pickups, I like the David Grissom pickups as far as his modern pickups. I loved that guitar, had the best sounding pickups.
Yeah. I'd love to take the Grissom pickups and put them in a Les Paul.
Yeah, oh my God, that would sound
great.
Could you
imagine?
I wish they would just sell the Grissom pickups on,
Yeah, they're not doing any of that.
I know, bastards.
Yeah. Yeah, the Silver Sky pickups there were some on eBay. I saw
how much were they?
Two sets. One set was $100. The other one was $125 in the pick guard.
So that's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a set of Grissoms and putting them in. You're right, a Les Paul would sound great.
Oh, and a Les Paul and an SG. Anything that takes a humbucker. In a fat Strat, imagine that, the bridge in a fat Strat.
That would be good.
That would be insane.
Do you know what's good in a fat Strat is the Lawler low-wind Imperials.
Yeah, those are great.
They sound good in a Strat.
Yeah, well, that's that Eddie thing. Right? It's like a PAF.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know,
and I'm a big Eddie guy.
and just crank it up and push the fuck out of the front of that amp. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Who coined the phrase "the Brown sound"? Was it Roth, or was it?
No, Ed.
Was it Ed?
Yeah, but he says that he was referring to his brother's drums instead of his sound. But I don't know. And that original thing when he said his sound is brown, I think he was talking about his sound. He liked to bullshit a lot, so who knows?
I miss him.
Me too.
Imagine what music we'd be getting.
None, because they didn't do anything since 2012 anyway.
Yeah, but I think there would have been something by now.
I don't know.
If he was well.
Maybe if he had never been sick. I mean, if he was just still alive and still doing long-term battling, I don't think you're getting anything new.
Yeah.
But even the stuff in 2012 was leftover stuff.
Yeah. I hope that him and I hope Wolfie and his uncle go through the tapes.
At some point, I imagine they have to.
I hope so. I really do, because there's stuff there. I know there's stuff in there that is nearly done.
Right.
That we would love to hear. It'd be great. So hey, folks, you got some Eddie Van Halen too. We talked about that too. All right. You ate your dinner?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna go eat mine.
Okay.
All right, folks. Thanks again. Go to guitarradioshow.com for all of the pictures and shit like that. And if we do put this up on YouTube, you will be seeing pictures because I'm gonna interlace them into the video of our conversation. How does that sound? So this way they don't have to look at us.
Why would you want to look at us?
Yeah, why would you want to look at us? Like when I do, when I do a pedal demo, all you see is my hairy knuckles. That's all you see.
Well, I get in my demo. I'm in my videos of.
Yeah, but you're not hard on the eyes, so it's okay. You're okay.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
But I didn't prep myself for this one tonight, so if you're.
It's okay. Nobody's gonna see us.
I'm gonna do as I say, if you share this on the YouTube, I'm gonna pull the Neil Young on you at Woodstock and be like, "Can't show me." Can't show me.
Can't show me. Fucking Neil. That's great. All right, man. Well, thank you very much, and we're going to sign off if you hold on.
Show on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, guitarradioshow.com, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Find Guitar Radio Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And remember, if you like the artists you hear on Guitar Radio Show, don't just stream their music, buy it.
GRS Productions.